Hello students, warm greetings. Be glad for learning. I am Punita, Assistant Professor at Department of Textile Technology. Welcome to the course Structure and Properties of Textile Fibers. This is one of the basic courses in which you will get exposed to the fine and micro level analysis of fibers. Fiber manufacturing industries are doing great innovation as we are moving ahead in technology. In this course, you will get complete knowledge of how to make quality of fiber and how to modify the fiber properties to make them to suit for different applications. This course deals with the microstructure of fiber and the properties that are influenced by the structural arrangement inside the fiber. Today we will get into lesson 1. Okay. So what is fiber and where are they? We have garment, and the garment is made of fabric, and the fabric is made up of yarn, and we know that the yarn is made up of fibers. They all are visible and easy to feel it. But what is inside the fiber materials? How can we feel it? How can we analyze it? So this is what we are going to get expertised in this topic. So the expected outcome of this topic is that the learner can get complete understanding of fundamentals of fiber and the basic units of fiber, that is called polymer. So the first objective of this topic is to identify the fundamental units of textile fiber. So before that, we will first check the available fibers. So for that, you must review the basic classification of textile fibers. So primarily the fibers are classified based on the origin. So we have two different classification. One is natural fiber, another one is man-made fibers. So the fibers which are obtained from the natural resources, that means it is completely the nature's gift. Okay, so the fibers are classified under natural fiber category. And yes, the cotton plant is providing the cotton fiber for the humankind, and it comes under natural fiber. And the one which is made completely by the human technology, they are classified under man-made fibers. So under man-made fiber, we have two more categories. So one is regenerated and another one is manufactured. So the name itself gives the meaning. So regeneration means there is a resource, but only thing we have to modify it. So this is what regenerated fiber. So the basic unit of fiber will be available in the nature itself, but only thing is we have to modify the basic unit, that means the polymer, and we have to produce as a fiber. But under manufactured category, all the from the basic units and to the fiber, everything is manufactured by human technology. So they are classified under manufactured fibers. And can you identify which is responsible for this classification? Yes, it's based on polymer type and the origin of polymer. When you see under natural fiber, we have two different classifications, sub-classifications. One is cellulosic, another one is protein. So this is completely based on polymer type. So we already heard that cellulosic is made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So protein contains different molecules, different atoms that includes nitrogen and combination of nitrogen and hydrogen and carbon and oxygen. So based on the polymer type, that means the molecular arrangement, these classification derived. So under cellulosic fiber, we have cotton and flax. So the other name for flax fiber is linen, which is commercially used term. And under protein fiber, we have wool and silk. Those fiber which are obtained from plant and vegetable resources will be classified under cellulosic category, and those obtained from animals, so they all contains protein and they can be classified under protein fibers. So similarly under regenerated we have rayon fibers and acetate. So they are cellulosic molecules which are already available in natural resources, but they are modified to the shape of fiber. And under manufactured fibers we have polyester and nylon, which are completely synthetic and they are derived from chemicals. When you take textile fibers, so that contains these kind of structure. So what is this? So these are molecules, chemical molecules, so which is made up of atoms as the basic unit. Yes, the fibers are made up of microfibers, and the microfibers composed of polymers, and the polymer molecules comprises of chemical components, chemical atoms, etc. So they are combined together to create actually the fibers. So what is the basic behind polymer? So we have two different terms. One is monomers and another one is polymer. So polymer is the chain of monomer. So monomers are single small molecules, and the polymer is the one large molecule which connects all those monomers. So usually polymer look like a chain molecule, and those chains will be arranged inside the fiber. So to know about the characteristics of polymer, first we will look into the image. The chain-like structure represents the polymer, and each polymer exhibits two properties. So one is length, another one is weight. So for micro and nano level polymers, measuring length as a distance is not possible and it is not required at all. Instead, we can consider the basic units, repeating units of polymer. What it is mean by? Yes, each ball represents monomer. Now, counting the monomers help you to understand the length of polymer. The number of monomer unit or repeating unit in a polymer is counted to represent the length of polymer, and the count is defined as degree of polymerization and it is indicated as dP. So the degree of polymerization is defined as the number of monomer units in the polymer, and it is calculated as the ratio of molecular weight of a polymer and molecular weight of the repeating unit. So in a single fiber, polymers cannot be available with the exact same degree of polymerization numbers. So there will be few of same dPs, but there will be a variation. To say dP of a fiber, we can consider mostly the average of dPs. So another important criteria of polymer in deciding the fiber property is arrangement inside the fiber. The polymer chain arrangement makes two regions. So one is tight and parallel packing, another one is coiling, random coiling structure with more gaps in between. So that is what the second objective of this topic. So it is to illustrate the crystalline and amorphous regions of polymers. So these are the monomer and polymer of a polymer type named polyethylene. So polyethylene has the structure, simple structure like this. So it contains only the combination of carbon and hydrogen with simple arrangement. So this polymer chain will have structure like this. It is a chain like structure, and these polymers are arranged inside the fiber in random arrangement. So this image represents two kinds of region. So one is the polymers are arranged in tight and parallel construction. They are named as crystalline region. Another thing is polymers are arranged in random and coiled like structure. So they are represented as amorphous region. So the fiber that contains both amorphous and crystalline region will be considered or will be defined as semi-crystalline fibers. And you will have more interpolymer spaces in between polymer only in the amorphous region. When you take cotton fiber, so it is made of cellulosic polymer, and the cellulosic chemical structure is shown here. So it is the combination of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So the basic unit of cellulose is glucose, that we already know. So two glucose units combine together to create a single cellulosic molecule. So the chemical formula for the cellulose is it contains 12 carbon, 24 hydrogen and 12 oxygen. So in a single cellulosic molecule. And they are arranged as a chain, parallel chain or random chains. So this gives the different arrangement. So the parallel arrangement gives the crystalline region, and the random arrangements shows the amorphous domain. Okay, so this is how a fiber is made of. The fiber which contains both amorphous and crystalline region, so they are classified or defined as semi-crystalline fiber or material. When you take this image, here a theoretical identification has been derived. So these lines represents polymer chain, and we have different theoretical representation of polymeric arrangements. So you can see parallel arrangements and random coiling arrangements. So before that, you have to look into three different terms. So first one is order, another one is orientation, the third one is extent. The definitions for order is nothing but the parallel alignment of polymer to each other. So the parallelity between the polymers. When the polymers are arranged parallel with each other, the order is very good. And the orientation, it is nothing but parallel arrangement of polymer chain along the fiber axis. How the polymers are parallel to the fiber axis, it is defined by orientation. And the extent is nothing but the extent will be high when the polymer covers maximum length of fiber. Okay, so again we look into this image. So here we can see the first A image. Okay, so here the polymer chains, the lines are represented and parallel with each other, as well as they are parallel to the fiber axis. When you take the fiber axis in the vertical plane. Okay, so I can consider vertical plane is the fiber axis, and all the polymers are exact parallel to the fiber axis. So in this case, the order and the orientation is very good. Okay, And when you come to the extent factor, it covers the full length of fiber that we taken. Okay, so here extent is also very good, it is high. And when you take the B image, where you can see the polymers are arranged parallel with each other at moderate rate, but there is no polymers which are exactly parallel to the fiber axis, that is in the vertical plane. Okay, so here in this case it has poor orientation towards fiber axis. When you consider extent, it is also moderate, it doesn't cover the complete length of fiber, right? And when you take the image C, there you can see the extent, high extent, it covers full length of fiber that I have taken, but the orientation and order, there is poor, not much poor, a moderate arrangements I can see. And when you take the image D, here I can see order. Okay, so the parallelity between fibers, polymers, and they are aligned on the vertical axis, that is fiber axis, but the extent, it doesn't cover the full length of fiber even though the polymer length is high. When you take image E, so there also it covers fiber length, but order and orientation is much poor. In the case of F, everything is poor. So that is what they have explained here. So the first image represents the theoretical arrangement of maximum order, maximum orientation, and maximum extent. And the second one shows high order and zero orientation. The third C image shows low order and high orientation. And the fourth one, D, shows high orientation but low extent. And the fifth E image shows zero orientation and high extent. The sixth one, F image, shows minimum order, minimum orientation, and minimum extent. That means everything has poor quality. Let's look into how the polymer type and the polymer arrangement are influencing the fiber properties. So the third objective is to classify the contributing factors of polymers and their arrangement to fiber properties. So first of all, we have polymers of different arrangement. That means the regularity of arrangement. So here you can see a main backbone line, okay, that is represented here. So when you take the first image, so the center line, vertical line, represents the main backbone of the polymer, and the red and blue balls represents the side groups attached to the polymer main backbone. Okay, so the arrangement of side groups also influences the polymer property as well as the fiber properties. Okay, so here we have to check it now. So here we have three different the side group arrangements. So the defined name for side group arrangements is stereo regularity or tacticity. Okay, so here we have three types of tacticity. One is isotactic, another one is syndiotactic, another one is atactic polymer. So here I have taken polypropylene polymer, and the red ball represents methyl group and the gray ball represents carbon group and the blue ball represents hydrogen molecule atom. So here in the first case, you can see the arrangement of methyl group at only one side of the polymer chain. That means only at one plane the methyl groups are arranged. And you can see the regularity. That means in they are arranged in the odd number, odd sequence. Okay, so in the first carbon, one methyl group is attached and only to the left side, left plane. And in the third carbon, one methyl group is attached, and in the fifth one. So similarly, in the odd numbers of carbon, the methyl side group is attached and only in the one single plane. When you take the second arrangement, here again you can see the odd number sequence arrangement. The methyl groups are arranged in first carbon and in third carbon and in fifth one and in seventh one similarly. But there is difference in the planes. Okay, so first methyl group is placed in the left plane, but the second, that means the one which is attached with the third carbon, so that methyl group is placed in the right plane. Okay, so since this difference makes the tacticity. So the first represents isotactic arrangement, and you can predict the property of this material. And in the second also, in the syndiotactic arrangement, there is regularity. So these all two categories can be helpful in predicting the properties, since we know the arrangement as well as there is regularity, it is followed here. But in the atactic polymer, you cannot define the arrangements. Like in the first carbon, in the right side, one methyl group is placed, and in the fourth carbon, one methyl group is placed, but in the left plane. But next to the fourth carbon, that means in the fifth one, there is another methyl group in the right plane. Okay, so you cannot have the regular arrangements. When a polymer of this kind happens, okay, you cannot predict the properties here. So that is why when you want to produce a fiber of adequate quality, then you can prefer only those isotactic and syndiotactic type, and in case of atactic polymer, not define the properties. When you take different atoms, so in periodical table you might have seen a number represented under the atom. So here you can see 1.008. So this is nothing but the atomic mass. So for each atom there is different atomic mass, that means atomic weight, and based on the atomic weight we can calculate the polymer weight. So that is what we are going to see here. So let's take an example of HOH, that means H2O. It is nothing but water molecules. So when you take that, you have one hydrogen and one oxygen and another hydrogen. So totally two hydrogen, and the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So what will be the mass contributing by hydrogen? 1 into 2 molecules of 1 atomic mass. So totally 2 atomic mass will be shared by hydrogen. And here you have one oxygen, and the atomic mass of oxygen is 16, and only one oxygen atom is available. So it gives 16. So for a single H2O molecule, the the molecular mass is the added value of hydrogen atomic mass and oxygen atomic masses. So it gives 18. So 18 is the molecular mass of water molecule, or molecular weight of water molecule. Similarly, you can calculate it for CO2 also. So this is how the polymer also carries different molecular weights, and the polymer which have linear arrangement and which have simple side groups, they can arrange in a different manner, and the molecule which have heavy molecular weight and heavy side group arrangement, there the arrangement, polymer arrangement inside the fiber is influencing. So here I have taken two different structures. One is of linear and another one is of branched. So here the linear and branched structures, they makes the difference in arrangement. So here you can see that the sticks which have more branches, you cannot arrange in a tight manner. But in the linear case, you can arrange it in a tight manner. So this also makes the difference in amorphous and crystallinity of fiber. So the polymers or chains of molecule, and they are arranged in a tight manner so that they gives amorphous and crystalline regions. This makes the property of fiber, the difference in properties of fiber. So this is what all about the basic unit of fiber, that is polymer, and in further classes we will discuss the different polymer arrangement in different fibers. We have natural fiber, we have man-made fibers, and under that also we have different categories. So in each and every fiber, how the polymer is influencing individually towards the fiber properties. Thank you.